Aardvark, Africa's mysterious night digger. In the vast savannas and woodlands of sub-Saharan Africa, when the scorching sun finally retreats below the horizon and darkness blankets the landscape, a peculiar creature emerges from its underground sanctuary. With its elongated snout, powerful claws, and pig-like body, the aardvark, Orycterapus afer, begins its nightly quest for sustenance. This enigmatic mammal, whose name literally means earth pig in Afrikaans, represents one of nature's most extraordinary evolutionary experiments, a living testament to the incredible diversity of life that has flourished on the African continent for millions of years. Despite being one of Africa's most distinctive mammals, the aardvark remains shrouded in mystery for many wildlife enthusiasts and researchers alike. Its secretive nocturnal lifestyle, combined with its preference for remote habitats, has made detailed study challenging. Yet this remarkable creature plays a crucial ecological role in its environment, serving as both a master excavator and an unwitting architect of the African landscape. A living fossil. Evolutionary origins and classification. The aardvark stands alone in the animal kingdom, representing the sole surviving member of the order Tubulidentata. This taxonomic isolation reflects the creature's ancient lineage, with fossil evidence suggesting that aardvark-like animals have roamed the Earth for approximately 55 million years. The earliest known ancestor, Leptoricterapus guillielmi, lived during the Miocene epoch and shared many characteristics with its modern descendant. What makes the aardvark's evolutionary story particularly fascinating is its complete lack of close living relatives. While it was once grouped with other African mammals in the superorder Afrotheria, which includes elephants, manatees, and elephant shrews, recent genetic analysis has revealed that the aardvark's evolutionary divergence occurred much earlier than previously thought. This makes the aardvark a true living fossil, carrying genetic memories of Africa's ancient past within its unusual form. The species name afer refers to its African origin, while Orycterapus translates to digging foot, a reference to the animal's most distinctive feature and primary survival tool. This nomenclature perfectly captures the essence of what makes the aardvark unique. It is fundamentally an African digging machine, sculpted by millions of years of evolution to excel in its underground lifestyle. Physical characteristics. Nature's underground engineer. The aardvark's appearance is nothing short of extraordinary, resembling a creature assembled from parts of various animals. An adult aardvark typically measures between 3.3 to 4.3 feet in body length, with an additional tail length of 1.7 to 2.2 feet. Males are generally larger than females, with body weights ranging from 88 to 143 pounds, though exceptional individuals can reach up to 180 pounds. The most striking feature is undoubtedly the elongated, tubular snout that houses an incredible olfactory system. This remarkable nose contains more turbinate bones than any other mammal, providing an enormous surface area for scent detection. The nostrils can be sealed shut during digging, preventing soil from entering the respiratory system while the aardvark excavates termite mounds and ant colonies. The aardvark's limbs are perfectly adapted for its fossorial lifestyle. The front legs are shorter and incredibly muscular, terminating in 4 toes equipped with large spade-like claws that can tear through sun-baked earth and the concrete hard walls of termite mounds. The hind legs are longer and more powerful, featuring 5 toes that provide stability and leverage during excavation. These claws are so effective that an aardvark can dig faster than a team of humans with shovels. The animal's thick, sparse hair provides protection from insect bites while allowing for effective heat dissipation during strenuous digging activities. The skin itself is remarkably tough, offering additional protection against the defensive attacks of soldier termites and ants. The tail, thick at the base and tapering to a point, serves as a powerful prop during digging operations and a rudder for balance during rapid movements. Perhaps most remarkable are the aardvark's ears, which are long, pointed, and highly mobile. These sophisticated acoustic instruments can be folded back against the head during digging to prevent soil intrusion, then quickly deployed to detect the faintest sounds of approaching predators or the subtle movements of insect prey within their colonies. Habitat and distribution. Masters of the African landscape. Aardvarks inhabit a diverse range of environments across sub-Saharan Africa, from the semi-arid regions of the Sahel to the woodland savannas of East and Southern Africa. Their distribution roughly follows the range of their primary food sources, termites and ants, making them most abundant in areas where these social insects thrive. The ideal aardvark habitat combines several key elements: sufficient prey density, suitable soil conditions for digging, and adequate cover for constructing burrows. They show a marked preference for areas with sandy or clay soils that are neither too hard to excavate nor too soft to maintain structural integrity in their extensive tunnel systems. Grasslands, open woodlands, and scrublands provide the perfect balance of termite abundance and digging conditions. Climate plays a crucial role in aardvark distribution and behavior. They are notably absent from the Sahara Desert and other extremely arid regions, as well as from dense tropical rainforests where termite populations are lower and soil conditions are less favorable for burrow construction. The seasonal availability of their insect prey also influences their ranging patterns, with some populations undertaking limited migrations during dry seasons when termite activity decreases. Human activities have significantly impacted aardvark populations and distribution patterns. Agricultural expansion has eliminated suitable habitat in many regions, while urbanization has fragmented remaining populations. However, some aardvarks have shown remarkable adaptability, establishing territories in agricultural areas where termite mounds persist, and even in the outskirts of human settlements. The species demonstrates considerable habitat flexibility within its preferred range. In some areas, aardvarks inhabit rocky outcrops where they modify natural crevices into suitable shelters. In others, they create elaborate burrow systems in open grasslands that can extend for hundreds of meters underground. This adaptability has been crucial to their survival in an increasingly human-dominated landscape. Diet and feeding behavior. The ant and termite specialist. The aardvark's entire anatomy and behavior revolve around a highly specialized diet consisting almost exclusively of ants and termites. This myrmecophagous lifestyle has shaped every aspect of the animal's evolution, from its powerful digging claws to its extraordinary sensory capabilities. A single aardvark can consume up to 50,000 insects in a single night, making it one of Africa's most voracious insectivores. The feeding process begins with the aardvark's remarkable ability to locate prey colonies from considerable distances. Their acute sense of smell can detect the chemical signatures of termite and ant colonies from up to several kilometers away, depending on wind conditions and colony size. Once a target is identified, the aardvark employs its powerful claws to break open even the most fortified termite mounds, some of which can be harder than concrete. The aardvark's feeding technique is a marvel of evolutionary engineering. After opening an access point to an insect colony, the animal extends its extraordinarily long tongue, which can measure up to 12 inches in length, deep into the tunnels and chambers. The tongue is coated with thick, sticky saliva produced by enlarged salivary glands, allowing it to capture hundreds of insects with each insertion. The insects are swallowed whole, as aardvarks lack functional teeth for chewing. Different species of ants and termites require different harvesting strategies. Harvester termites, which construct massive mounds, are accessed by breaking through the outer walls and feeding from the main chambers. Driver ants, which don't build permanent structures, are harvested from their temporary bivouacs or along their foraging trails. Some aardvark populations have learned to time their feeding activities with the emergence patterns of flying termites during seasonal swarms, providing access to particularly nutritious reproductive individuals. The nutritional content of the aardvark's diet is surprisingly rich. Termites and ants are excellent sources of protein, essential fatty acids, and various minerals. The chitin exoskeletons of these insects also provide fiber that aids in digestion. However, this specialized diet comes with challenges, particularly during dry seasons when insect activity decreases significantly, forcing aardvarks to expand their foraging ranges or occasionally supplement their diet with other foods. Behavior and social structure. Solitary architects of the underground. Aardvarks are fundamentally solitary animals, coming together only during brief mating encounters. This solitary lifestyle is well suited to their specialized feeding habits, as individual territories must be large enough to contain sufficient prey resources to sustain a single animal throughout the year. Adult aardvarks typically maintain territories ranging from 2 to 5 square kilometers, though this can vary significantly based on prey density and habitat quality. The cornerstone of aardvark behavior is their extraordinary engineering ability. These animals are master excavators, creating some of the most complex burrow systems in the animal kingdom. A typical aardvark burrow consists of multiple entrances connected by a network of tunnels that can extend up to 20 meters in length and reach depths of 3 meters below ground. These underground cities serve multiple purposes: protection from predators, temperature regulation, nurseries for young, and food storage areas. Burrow construction follows sophisticated principles of underground architecture. The tunnels are strategically angled to prevent flooding during rains, with drainage channels and air circulation systems that maintain optimal humidity and temperature levels. Multiple escape routes ensure that the occupant can flee quickly if threatened, while the main sleeping chamber is positioned at the deepest, most secure point of the system. Aardvarks exhibit remarkable temporal organization in their daily activities. They are strictly nocturnal, emerging from their burrows shortly after sunset and returning before dawn. This schedule allows them to avoid the extreme heat of the African day while taking advantage of peak termite and ant activity periods. During the hot season, they may remain active for 8 to 10 hours per night, while shorter winter nights compress their foraging time to 4 to 6 hours. Communication among aardvarks is primarily chemical and acoustic. They mark their territories with scent glands located near the anus, creating invisible boundaries that help prevent conflicts between neighboring individuals. Vocalizations include soft grunting sounds during feeding, sharp barks when alarmed, and clicking noises that may serve as location calls during the brief mating season. The species demonstrates remarkable problem-solving abilities and behavioral flexibility. Aardvarks have been observed modifying their digging techniques based on different soil types and prey species, suggesting a level of cognitive adaptability that extends beyond simple instinctive behavior. Some individuals have learned to exploit human-modified environments, accessing termite colonies that thrive around agricultural installations or following irrigation systems where soil moisture supports higher insect populations. Reproduction and life cycle. Raising the next generation. The reproductive cycle of aardvarks is closely tied to seasonal patterns and food availability, with most mating occurring during the wetter months when termite populations are at their peak. After a gestation period of approximately 7 months, remarkably long for a mammal of this size, females give birth to a single offspring, though twins are occasionally recorded. Newborn aardvarks are born in a relatively advanced state of development, with their eyes open and a full coat of hair. However, they remain completely dependent on their mother for the first several months of life. The mother constructs a special nursery chamber within her burrow system, carefully positioned for optimal temperature and humidity control. This chamber serves as the infant's entire world for the first 6 to 8 weeks of life. During the early nursing period, mother aardvarks face significant challenges. They must balance their own nutritional needs with the demands of producing milk for their rapidly growing offspring. Female aardvarks may lose significant body weight during this period, requiring them to extend their foraging ranges and increase their nightly activity periods. The rich protein content of their insect diet is crucial for producing the high-quality milk necessary for proper infant development. Young aardvarks begin accompanying their mothers on foraging expeditions at approximately 2 months of age. These educational outings serve multiple purposes. They provide hands-on training in prey location and excavation techniques, help young animals develop the physical strength necessary for independent survival, and allow mothers to continue feeding while monitoring their offspring. The learning process is gradual, with young aardvarks initially observing their mother's techniques before attempting their own excavations. The bond between mother and offspring typically lasts 6 to 8 months, with weaning occurring gradually as the young animal becomes proficient at independent foraging. Sexual maturity is reached at approximately 2 years of age, though individuals may not successfully reproduce until they establish their own territories and achieve full adult size. In the wild, aardvarks can live 15 to 20 years, though most individuals face significant mortality pressures from predation, habitat loss, and human activities. Ecological role. Ecosystem engineers of the African savanna. The aardvark's impact on African ecosystems extends far beyond its role as a predator of ants and termites. As ecosystem engineers, these remarkable animals fundamentally alter their environment in ways that benefit countless other species. Their extensive digging activities and burrow construction create what ecologists term keystone infrastructure. Physical modifications to the landscape that provide resources and opportunities for other organisms. The most obvious ecological contribution comes from aardvark burrows, which serve as refuge sites for over 110 different animal species. These underground shelters provide critical habitat for everything from small mammals and reptiles to various bird species that nest in abandoned burrow systems. Warthogs, hyenas, bat-eared foxes, and numerous other animals regularly use aardvark excavations as temporary shelters or permanent dens. During extreme weather events, these burrows can mean the difference between life and death for many smaller species. The digging activities of aardvarks also play a crucial role in soil health and ecosystem functioning. Their excavations bring nutrient-rich subsoil to the surface while incorporating organic matter from the surface into deeper soil layers. This bioturbation process enhances soil fertility and water infiltration, creating microhabitats that support different plant communities. Areas around active aardvark territories often show increased plant diversity and productivity compared to unexcavated areas. Aardvarks also serve as important regulators of termite and ant populations. While a single aardvark consumes enormous quantities of these insects, their predation pressure helps maintain the ecological balance between different insect species and prevents any single species from becoming overwhelmingly dominant. This regulation is particularly important in agricultural areas, where some termite species can become serious crop pests if their populations are not controlled by natural predators. The species' role as a seed disperser, while less obvious, is also ecologically significant. Aardvarks occasionally consume fruits and plant material, particularly during seasons when insect prey is scarce. Seeds from these plants are deposited in aardvark latrines and around burrow entrances, often in nutrient-rich soil conditions that favor germination. Some plant species may depend partially on aardvark dispersal for colonizing new areas. Conservation status and threats. Challenges in the modern world. Currently classified as least concern by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, the aardvark faces an increasingly uncertain future across much of its range. While the species is not immediately threatened with extinction, population declines have been documented in many regions, and several factors suggest that their conservation status may need reassessment in the coming decades. Habitat loss represents the primary threat to aardvark populations. Agricultural expansion, particularly large-scale commercial farming, eliminates the grassland and woodland habitats that aardvarks require. The conversion of natural landscapes to monoculture crops also reduces the diversity and abundance of termite and ant species that form the aardvark's prey base. Urban development further fragments remaining suitable habitat, creating isolated populations that are more vulnerable to local extinction. Climate change poses additional challenges for aardvark survival. Shifting rainfall patterns affect termite and ant populations, potentially reducing prey availability during critical periods. Increased frequency and intensity of droughts can force aardvarks to travel greater distances in search of food, increasing their exposure to predators and human-related mortality sources. Rising temperatures may also affect the thermal balance within burrow systems, potentially making traditional shelter sites unsuitable. Human-wildlife conflict has become an increasingly significant issue in some regions. As human populations expand into traditional aardvark habitat, encounters between humans and these nocturnal diggers become more common. Aardvarks are sometimes killed by farmers who view their digging activities as damaging to crops or infrastructure, despite the fact that aardvarks primarily target termite mounds rather than agricultural areas. The illegal wildlife trade, while not currently a major threat to aardvarks, has shown concerning growth in some regions. Aardvark parts are used in traditional medicine in certain cultures, and there is growing demand for live animals in private collections and exotic pet trades. The species' secretive nature makes monitoring of this trade particularly challenging. Perhaps most concerning is the general lack of comprehensive population data for most aardvark populations. Their nocturnal, solitary lifestyle makes census work extremely difficult, and many regions lack the resources or expertise necessary for effective monitoring programs. This data gap makes it challenging to assess the true conservation status of the species and develop appropriate protection strategies. Research and study. Unraveling the mysteries. Scientific research on aardvarks faces unique challenges due to the species' secretive nature and nocturnal lifestyle. Traditional wildlife study methods often prove inadequate for documenting aardvark behavior and ecology, requiring researchers to develop innovative approaches and technologies. Recent advances in GPS tracking, thermal imaging, and acoustic monitoring have begun to provide new insights into aardvark biology and behavior. GPS collar studies have revealed the impressive ranging behavior of aardvarks, with some individuals traveling up to 30 kilometers in a single night during foraging expeditions. These studies have also provided crucial data on habitat preferences, showing that aardvarks select areas based on complex factors including prey density, soil characteristics, and proximity to water sources. The data suggests that effective aardvark conservation will require protecting large landscape corridors rather than small, isolated reserves. Thermal imaging technology has proven particularly valuable for studying aardvark behavior without human interference. Researchers can now document feeding behaviors, social interactions during brief mating encounters, and the construction processes involved in burrow excavation. These observations have revealed the sophisticated nature of aardvark behavior and the remarkable efficiency of their foraging strategies. Recent genetic research has provided new insights into aardvark evolution and population structure. DNA analysis has confirmed the species' ancient evolutionary lineage and revealed surprising genetic diversity within different geographic populations. This research suggests that what is currently considered a single species may actually represent several distinct evolutionary lineages that have been geographically isolated for extended periods. Studies of aardvark ecology have also contributed to broader understanding of ecosystem functioning in African savannas. Research on the relationship between aardvark digging activities and soil health has implications for rangeland management and restoration ecology. Similarly, documentation of the numerous species that utilize aardvark burrows has highlighted the importance of maintaining complete ecological communities rather than focusing conservation efforts on individual charismatic species. Cultural significance and human relationships. Throughout their range, aardvarks hold significant places in local cultures and traditional belief systems. Many African cultures view aardvarks as symbols of industriousness and perseverance, qualities derived from observations of their tireless nocturnal digging activities. In some traditions, aardvark parts are believed to possess magical properties, though these beliefs have unfortunately contributed to hunting pressure in certain regions. The aardvark's influence extends into modern popular culture as well, perhaps most famously through the character Arthur in the long-running children's television series. While this anthropomorphized representation bears little resemblance to actual aardvark behavior, it has helped introduce millions of children worldwide to this unique African mammal. In South African culture, the Afrikaans name aardvark has become the universal common name for the species, reflecting the historical importance of these animals to early European settlers who encountered them while establishing farms and settlements. Early explorers and naturalists were fascinated by the aardvark's unusual appearance and behavior, leading to detailed descriptions in colonial-era writings and scientific journals. Modern conservation efforts increasingly recognize the importance of incorporating traditional ecological knowledge and cultural values into protection strategies. Many rural communities have detailed traditional knowledge about aardvark behavior and ecology, developed through generations of coexistence. This knowledge can provide valuable insights for scientific research and conservation planning, while community-based conservation approaches can help ensure local support for protection efforts. Future prospects. Ensuring survival in a changing world. The future of aardvarks in Africa depends largely on our ability to balance human development needs with ecosystem conservation. As human populations continue to grow and expand into traditional aardvark habitat, Innovative conservation approaches will be necessary to ensure the species' long-term survival. These approaches must address both immediate threats and the underlying factors driving habitat loss and degradation. Land use planning that incorporates wildlife corridors and habitat connectivity will be crucial for maintaining viable aardvark populations. Rather than creating isolated protected areas, conservation strategies should focus on maintaining landscape-level connectivity that allows aardvarks to access the large territories they require for survival. This approach will also benefit the numerous other species that depend on aardvark-created habitat features. Climate change adaptation strategies will become increasingly important as shifting weather patterns affect the availability of termite and ant prey. Research into aardvark dietary flexibility and behavioral adaptations will help identify populations that may be most vulnerable to climate impacts. Conservation efforts may need to focus on protecting climate refugia, areas that are likely to maintain suitable conditions even as regional climates change. The development of non-invasive monitoring techniques will be essential for tracking population trends and assessing conservation effectiveness. Advances in environmental DNA analysis, acoustic monitoring, and satellite imagery interpretation may provide new tools for studying these elusive animals without disturbing their natural behaviors. Education and awareness programs will play crucial roles in changing human attitudes toward aardvarks and promoting coexistence strategies. Many people living within aardvark range have limited knowledge of the species' ecological importance, viewing them primarily as agricultural pests or sources of traditional medicine. Conservation education programs that highlight the aardvark's role as an ecosystem engineer and its contributions to soil health and biodiversity could help build local support for protection efforts. International cooperation will be necessary to address threats that cross national boundaries, such as illegal wildlife trade and climate change impacts. Regional conservation strategies that coordinate protection efforts across multiple countries will be more effective than isolated national initiatives. The aardvark story is ultimately one of remarkable evolutionary success followed by modern challenges that threaten to undo millions of years of specialized adaptation. These extraordinary creatures represent not just a unique branch of the evolutionary tree, but also a crucial component of African ecosystems whose loss would reverberate throughout the ecological communities they help create and maintain. As we continue to transform the African landscape, our choices in the coming decades will determine whether future generations will have the opportunity to witness the nocturnal adventures of Africa's mysterious night digger. Through continued research, innovative conservation strategies, and growing appreciation for their ecological importance, aardvarks may yet continue their ancient role as architects of the African underground. Their survival depends not just on protecting the species itself, but on maintaining the complex web of relationships that connect these remarkable animals to the landscapes they have helped shape for millions of years. In preserving aardvarks, we preserve a living piece of Africa's natural heritage and ensure that one of evolution's most extraordinary experiments continues into an uncertain but hopeful future.